just said. I have friends that are ADs, D1 ADs, and you're right. At Division I, especially, it's football and basketball, and particularly football. That brings in the money. When you're in the Big Ten, like you said, or Big 12, or SEC, that money trickles down the track. So track programs, some of these guys are getting paid and stuff. But like you said, how we're talking now, I've always said this: track and field shoots itself in the foot. Number one, I hate to say this, but I call it's a broke sport. I said that number one, the coaches, and one reason why I'm not back coaching is you spend way too much time and hours coaching and you don't get paid. You've already talked about how many. So eventually you'll do that for a while, but you're making, you got assistants making 30, 40, 50,000. Then you look across the hallway in football and the position coaches now are making, some of them are close to $1 million, and you don't have
here's a perfect example. They had a guy with zero experience who was like the quarterback assistant, whisperer. Literally, it was crazy. He was like, and his starting salary was $175K. And I'm sitting there going, I've had national championships, I voted 2 times of the year. We won 2 conference championships and we have one in 28 years. And, and I'm sitting there, busting my butt, traveling every weekend, being recruited coordinator and everything else. And I'm fortunate to make what I make, but I'm sitting there going, dang, like literally the lowest person on the totem pole makes almost 3 times, or twice what I'm making. Yeah. And their window's higher, for stuff. And so it's like, if you're burned out, if you're burned out, making $1 million is a lot different than if you're making 100,000.
Yeah, so you have that element to it. Like this, where none of these coaches, most of these, like you said, a couple guys are getting paid. There's a few guys making a lot of money, but it really goes down after that. And if you're not in the Power 5, like SEC or Big One, you're really not making a lot. Even if you're like USC or UCLA and you make a good deal, it's so expensive to live here.
UCLA is the most expensive school, and I'll argue that probably what the UCLA head coach probably is one of the worst salaries in the in the conference.
The other deal where we shoot ourselves in the foot, and I give Sam Seams credit. They've gotten the NCAA meet on TV. You got to condense stuff. Fans don't. Fans. I'll even give Major League Baseball this. It used to be 4-hour games. They came to the pitch clock. I've been to a bunch of Dodger games this year. I've been to games that are under, 3 hours, 2.5 hours. Fans have a limited time span. You can't be going to these track meets that start at 7 in the morning and they end at 10 o'clock at night. No one wants to see that. So you're shooting yourself in the foot, and you're only bringing in revenue if you do huge meets like that. Like you said, like you're bringing in entry fees. So you go to Seattle for University of Washington meet when Coach Metcalf was there, he'd say, it went all day and they'd make, $30,000 a meet on entries, but you're there all day, so you're only going to make money on that.